Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today is an update on the addition. I'm finally sitting down to film this video. I actually did film this twice, and since filming those videos, a lot more kept happening, so I just kept scratching the footage, and I was like, I gotta redo this because just a lot has changed, a lot has went on, and I want to share the entire process start to finish. I told you guys that from the beginning, and not only for you guys, but to also look back on as documentation of like what all went down the journey, because it is a journey. And I'm telling you right now, so many people sugarcoat all this process and make it look like it's all like easy peasy and lemon squeezy. It's not. Okay, there's a lot of stressful stuff that happened, a lot of drama, so I'm going to share all that in today's video. Here's a reminder on how this space looked before we got started. We had two sheds, one that served as a laundry room and one that served as a storage space, and it quickly became cluttered in between the two, and there was just a lot of wasted space. So we felt like if we ripped out both of these sheds, install one nice sized building, it's going to maximize our space and look so much better. And here's a 3D rendering of the idea I have, and in this video I'm going to go ahead and share a little recap on all that's happened leading up to this point. Going back in time, on March 19th, that was the day that I actually went and met with an engineer to get plans drawn up to build a building ourselves. We were going to do it from the ground up, everything, the concrete, the framework, the siding, all of it. We're going to build the whole thing. But I went and talked to an engineer and realized how expensive it actually is to do that. Just to get the engineer to draw the plans was like $2,300. It was a lot of money, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is way more than I expected. And I told him what we were trying to do, and he was like, honestly, your best bet was going to be to go through like a shed company and just do a pre-manufactured building and then customize it the way you want it. So then we got to looking into sheds. I found a couple at Home Depot, the big ones that you can, like the little barn style that you can close in. I've seen people do it online. We looked into those, but the issue with those is that we had no way to get it to our backyard. So I decided to search for shed companies near me, and I figured I would go in, take a look at some of the buildings they had, and ask if there was anything that they could build on site. I get there, I pull into Sheds for Less. I ended up meeting with Mike and Neil. They were super nice, very, very helpful. And they actually are the ones who told me, instead of going for one of the like little sheds that you can have built on site, go with a steel building instead. You're gonna get the size that you want. You can customize where you want your windows and your doors. So that's what I ended up doing. We sat down, we went over everything. I picked out the colors, the placement of the windows, the French doors, the side door, the other window, and we decided to move forward with it. So March 20th, I finalized everything, and the process got started. Well, it just got started, because from there we had a lot of work to do. We had two sheds existing where the new building was going to go. We had a shed that was here when we bought the house that was old. We also had a metal shed that we installed to use for storage. So we had a lot of cleanup to do. We started we started pulling out all the stuff, decluttering, trying to organize, condense everything down, and move it to the carport temporarily. So that way we could rip out the two sheds to make, a spot for it. Now, we were advised to go ahead and get all that done, so that way whenever the permit was approved and the guys could come and make the form for the concrete slab, that we had no rush. Well, y'all know me, I'm like get her done type of person, so I was like, we gotta get this done, like we gotta move, like they're gonna come out like immediately. So we start decluttering, cleaning out these sheds. My husband and I worked our butts off. We actually moved a lot of landscaping as well that we had around, and we were trying to like replant it in other areas of the yard. We worked so hard, so hard for like 2-3 weekends straight, just cleaning up. And boy, you don't realize what a mess you have until you gotta like actually remove sheds and clean things out. It's a lot. So we got all that done. Sheds are empty. Everything's piled up in the carport. We worked on installing another shed from Patio Well, which I was super thankful. They sponsored a video. First sponsor of the shed build, which I was really excited about. And they gifted me a smaller shed to review for you guys, and that's what we ended up using to put like our lawn equipment in and any outdoor things that we need access to, often. We put that in our backyard, so it's like a smaller little shed, and we did that. At that point, it was time to start demo. I called, we actually had someone that was supposed to come take the metal shed down. We gave it away for free as long as they could take it down and move it. But they came out and it just was too hard to take apart. So our neighbor across the street ended up scrapping it for some extra money because it was all bent up anyway. So they tore it down, took that out of here, and then my brother came over, and my little brother, and they worked on, my husband, my brother, my sister-in-law, and I, and my husband's friend, Devin, he came over, and they all worked on demoing the big shed, the one that had our laundry room in it. And that shed did not go down easy. It was really, really sturdy. Honestly, probably more sturdy than our house. The thing was solid. Whoever built that, they knew what they were doing, because my brother was like knocking it with the tractor, pulling it, the whole nine. Finally, he was able to like pull it over to the side and then smash it down, and they cut it apart, you know, hauled everything out to the dump trailer, and that took all weekend. So we worked Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to get that all cleaned out. My brother, during that process, because you know he had a tractor that had to get down our side yard, tiny little squeeze space. I don't even know how he did it, and I'm super grateful he did, because nobody else in their right mind would have even attempted to do what he did, and I couldn't thank him enough. He saved us by getting the tractor back here and helping us tear that shed down, because we'd probably still be working on tearing it down. But during that process, it actually broke a main water line, you guys. We popped the main water. The weight of the tractor just kind of like flexed the ground too much, and the elbow where they installed our new water system cracked. So water was like pouring out everywhere. It was late too. I ended up running to Lowe's, which was closed by the time I got there. So then I had to hop in the truck and haul butt to Walmart to get material just to close it up temporarily until we can get a plumber out to fix it properly so it doesn't keep cracking, because it shouldn't have done that. Our pipes are so shallow underground, like it's unreal. So anyway, that all happened. And during all the cleanup, which was, like I said, it was 3 days total. It was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We did not have enough room in the trailer. So some of the concrete slab that they had to cut back, they ended up putting it in the front yard. So then we had the dump trailer that was slap full of stuff. We had our trailer that was full of garbage too from the backyard. And then we had concrete in the front yard. I had my brother's tractor in the front yard. Y'all, it looked like crazy, okay? I'm not gonna lie, it was a disaster, but we're in construction, like what can you do? And then our neighbor next door was like, hey, can I cut your tree, because I have a camper that needs to come through here and your tree's like hanging down too low. And I was like, sure, cut it please. I really appreciate it. So his guys took their pole saw and cut our tree down. So now we have, well, my brother came and got the dump, my older brother came and got the dump trailer, took that for me to the dump. My brother's tractor was still up here. We still had the concrete, and then our neighbor cut our tree limbs. So now we had tree limbs stacked by the tractor. And you could tell we were in construction, but for some reason, someone decides to call and complain about a mess. And we don't even live in an HOA neighborhood, by the way. Let me just say that. I don't know what is going on, but either, I don't know. Someone has been calling and complaining. Which it is what it is. I'm gonna be nice, but I have an idea of who it could be. But anyway, so someone called and complained. They put a red tag on our crap out front and was like, look, you need to get this cleaned up. You have 7 days from the day that you received this letter. So I'm panicked. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get a fine. It was a $100 fine, and it was also up to a $400 fine if the police had to come out and if they had to come out and clean it up. I'm like, what is going on? Like, we've lived here for so long. We've put stuff by the road before, and like we've never had anybody complain. I think it had a lot to do with the construction, because it was loud. It was a lot going on. I can only imagine what people were thinking. We're out here tearing our house down from the backyard. But anyways, we get that stuff cleaned up after everything's all the sheds are tore down. My oldest brother pulls the dump trailer away. My little brother comes and gets his tractor. We had the tree limbs up front, and we get the tree limbs picked up onto another trailer that is in our driveway, because we had to wait until the dump was open in order to take the tree limbs. So that same day, the county shows up, and they're like, hey, or no, they didn't even say anything. Let me rewind. They didn't say nothing. They literally just start chopping my tree up out front. They just start trimming the tree back, and I'm shocked, because like they're like up in my yard, like cutting this tree. And I'm like sending pictures to my husband. I'm like, what is going on? They're butchering our tree. Like, I'm freaking out because I love our tree. It's like, everybody loves our tree. It shades everybody's yard. Like, who would complain? So anyway, they are starting chopping the tree. So I walk out there and I'm like barefoot. Y'all, I'm barefoot. Literally, I'm not even kidding. I walk out there by the mailbox because I see our neighbor go out there, which is our friend, by the way. And he's like, what is going on? And I'm like, what is happening? He's like, we got a complaint of the tree limbs. And I'm like, the tree limbs I picked up, they were on the side of the, he cut them for me and I just put them on the trailer, or my husband put them on the trailer. I said, we cleaned up. He said, oh yeah, but we're gonna go ahead and just cut everything back so that way we don't have to come back out. They were super nice, by the way, super nice. And one of the guys ended up coming back and mowing the yard for us because he ended up doing lawn and he was like, hey, I'll come cut your yard. And I'm like, yes, please. I'm struggling to keep up right now. I had a lot going on. So I'm like, yes, please come cut our yard. And he ended up raking the leaves, helping me get the whole yard cleaned up. So county comes, they get on, or they didn't get on to us, but they took the limbs down. The limbs that we had in the trailer, we got rid of those. Now we still had concrete slabs. I'm talking 2 foot by 2 foot, 150-pound concrete slabs a piece, probably even more than that. Some of them are probably like 200 pounds. I'm telling you, they were ridiculously heavy. And we had the tractor to move those to the front yard. And the only reason why we didn't add those to the dump trailer originally was because the dump trailer was too full for the tractor to lift it up and then over. It was just too much weight. So we piled it up in the yard. It was going to take some time to get my brother back over here with the tractor to get those cleaned up. So we just had to leave them in the yard. Like there was nothing we could do. And anyway, so a couple days passed and this lady from the county shows up again. I'm like, no way. And she's taking pictures of my house. Not just the front of our house, the side of the house too. Like she was taking pictures of like all angles. And I was annoyed. So I march out there again with no shoes on and I'm like, hey, can I help you? And she's like, yeah, I'm just here to take photos. We got a complaint. Y'all, I about lost it. I said, a complaint about what? I said, like we're in the middle of construction and it's gonna take us some time to get this cleaned up. And this concrete that's right here in our yard is in our property. It's on our property line. We're doing our best. It's not meant for you guys to pick up. It's not meant for the county to pick up at all. We're gonna get it. It's just extremely heavy and we have to wait for my brother's tractor to come. And I just felt like we were getting harassed for like a solid week is what it felt like. And it really wasn't that dramatic, but in the moment when you're stressed and you're finding out all the stuff, it's just annoying. And during all that, on top of it, I got a call from the project manager that said, hey, by the way, your building it looks great. The permit's, moving forward, but they just advised me that you have to come in 7.5 foot from your property line instead of 5 foot because you have an easement on your side of your house. An easement? What? I said, what easement? She's like, yeah, you have a 7.5 foot easement on both sides of your yard. Not one, but 2 easements that we were never aware of when we purchased this house. Honestly, this just goes back to being a first-time home buyer and not knowing what the heck we're doing and not reading more or paying attention more, which honestly we didn't even get an easement disclosure or anything. We never signed any of that because I know myself. I know what I've been like, no thank you. No, I don't want no easement because a 7.5 foot easement, that takes up so much of my property. Both sides of my yard, not just one side. And to top it off, the shed that was there before, the washer, dryer, and water heater shed, the one that I had my little laundry room in, that was on the easement when we bought this house. So that whole shed was completely illegal according to the lady from the county. So that was just like icing on the cake. And then of course our building, all of the plans I had, the position I had, everything had to move 2.5 foot in. So that just really, like on top of the county coming in and people complaining about the mess, like it was a lot to deal with. And I just wanted to give up. There was a couple times I was like, I'm fixing to call them and cancel. Like I literally was about to lose my crap because I just felt like nothing was going the way I wanted it to. But I also feel like everything happened the way it was supposed to. It's one of those things where sometimes you just gotta learn how to be patient. I can be so extremely patient with so many things. But whenever there's certain things that if I feel like I'm doing all that I need to do and I feel like things are not moving as fast as they should on other people's end, that's when I start getting impatient. And it's something I need to work on because they've all been extremely kind and nice. And so have I. It's not like I've been like rude or anything. I just, hey, just looking for an update. That's me. I'm like texting everybody, hey, I'm just looking for an update. How much longer? Hey, how long do you think it's going to take for this? And I kept doing that. And I know they're probably like so annoyed with me. I'm sorry if you're watching this. It's not that I'm trying to be a pain in the butt. I'm excited, really is what it boils down to. So anyway, yeah, we find out about the easement. She informs me that now we have to go in an extra 2.5 foot. So that just threw everything off. So then we had to go back to the drawing board and cut more concrete, which just sucks because the concrete's heavy. It's a lot of work to cut it. So my husband and I got out there. I got my little mask on. I already shared that in a previous video. And we cut more concrete to be able to scoot the building forward. I could have totally went back in and been like, hey, look, it's not going to work. I don't know what to do. We're going to redo the building. But what really was scary for me was that, like, I was told that the metal for our building was already cut. Like, they had already cut out the windows, the doors, all of it. So then I was like, well, what happens if I can't fit this building in here? What am I going to do? Thankfully, it worked. 2.5 foot more in of, like, from the fence line actually ended up being a blessing in disguise, because if you guys didn't know, behind us, our neighbors, they have like this makeshift, like overhang. What am I trying to say? It's like a cover, like a patio cover, and it's an eyesore. I'm not gonna lie, it's an eyesore. And our building, now that it's gonna be like up a little bit, it's actually gonna block that whole thing because it's really tall. So that whole entire building is gonna be hidden from us, which I'm excited about because it'll look a lot nicer when you walk out back. So yeah, that's where we are. We had an easement on either side of our property, had people calling the county on us, had the county coming out, taking photos of my house, making me feel like I'm like I felt like I was under pressure. And then, what else happened? I'm trying to remember everything that went down. Let me look at my notes. I didn't even look at these, not once this whole time. Oh, so after the permit got approved and we found out about the easement, then we had to wait again, because then we found out the contractor for the concrete slab was behind on jobs. So we had to wait even like longer. So the permit has actually been accepted for 2.5 weeks at this point, but the contractor finally called me yesterday, and two weeks later, and he was like, hey, I'm sorry to bother you like on a random Sunday, but I was just letting you know I'm caught up with jobs and I can come form your slab tomorrow if you want. I'm like, yes, please, let's get this going. Meanwhile, the yard's a disaster. The dogs have like knocked over this makeshift fence that we tried to put up, and I told my husband, like, this was yesterday, Mother's Day. I was like, honey, I need your help. We got to get this yard cleaned up real quick and like get whatever we can get cleaned up out of the way because they're coming tomorrow. He's like, this is so annoying. And I totally understand his frustration because there's like no timeline. Like, we didn't really get a good schedule, like a timeline. It was kind of just like on the whim, but I'm excited because it's done. And it was one of those things that was last minute, like, hey, I got an opening. Can we come put the thing? And I'm like, absolutely. Super nice guys. They came out. They formed the slab this morning. They did a great job. So I can show you guys what that looks like at this point. It's going to be so great. I mean, obviously it's nothing but wood and plastic, but it's like an idea of the size and where it's going to be. And I am just so stinking excited, you guys. So excited. I'm like, we're happy this is moving forward. He said tomorrow will be inspection day. So they're going to come tomorrow, inspect the slab, make sure it's all square and where it needs to be. And then they're gonna come either Wednesday or Thursday to pour the slab. Wait 7 days cure time. That 7-day mark, I will contact Neil from Sheds for Less. He's gonna make sure that everything goes, you know, as it's supposed to. And then the company who's gonna install the steel building will then schedule me and come out and install the building. I can't wait. I feel like I've been waiting forever. It's been like, what, 3 months? Has it been 3 months? March, April, May. March, April, May. No, it's been 3 months. What is wrong with me? It hasn't even been that long. But I am so excited. That's the update. That's where we're at. I'll show you guys what the forming of the slab looks like. Honestly, I thought it was going to be a little bit more like, I thought for sure there's gonna be like more rebar in there, but there's not. It's just like along the perimeter. But you can see like how big it's gonna be and where it's gonna be. So yeah, let me show you. Here's what it looks like currently. You can get an idea of where it's going to sit. So we'll have all this opening between the house and the building, and where Little is standing is actually gonna be where the French doors are gonna go. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. Oh, and then look right here. See this? This is the building I was telling you about the neighbors. So since our building is going to be so tall, it's actually going to block that view, which will be really nice. So it won't be like an eyesore from over here. And then once everything is done, I want to stain this fence the same color as we stained our back fence, so everything's nice and matching. So that'll be really great. But that is what it's looking like. This is what it looks like from over here. So you can see we'll still have all this space. Lots of room back here for like storage or whatever. We can put grass and dogs can kind of just run around in between. So, what I can see now. Oh, that's like solid too. Knox already jumped over it today. As soon as he came out here, first thing he did was jump over there. They're like, what is this? What is that? Alright, so here's how it'll look from over here. I'll back up in the back of the yard to show you. But there's that. This fence panel is for right here. We just kind of have it leaning, the smaller one, just temporarily because they're going to be coming in and out. So we just have that all open. But with having the dogs, we got to have some type of gate up right now. So I just kind of rigged it. You can see I have like the panel laying sideways with the board. They left that board behind. Just leaving wood everywhere. Look at this. I'm just kidding. It's fine. I don't mind. I'm sure they'll take it when they come back. I know I keep sharing like overviews, but I just don't want to miss out on good before and afters. You know, I'm trying to get all the angles because this is going to look so different when it's all done. Oh, you guys, I forgot to tell you. Look at this girl. I came back over here and look, she just in the background. She's so freaking cute. But I wanted to share with you, when we were driving home for my niece's birthday the other day, we passed another Sheds for Less, and they had a building out that was the same colors that I believe I ordered. Like, it was pretty close to what I got. I wanted dark gray and black trim, and I figured I'd include that picture to give you an idea. Now, the difference between my building and this building here is that instead of the lines being horizontal, so the metal running horizontally, mine are going to be vertical. And I'm super happy I chose this because I actually have been keeping my eyes peeled for people who have the buildings that I'm ordering or that I got. And the ones that have them vertically, I like the look of it a lot better than the ones that are laying horizontal. So just personal preference, but I just thought I would share. All right, y'all, so that is where we're at with the addition. I wanted to go over the pricing real quick though, for those who are interested in hearing what it's cost so far. I told y'all from the beginning I wanted to share all of the details, the good, the bad, and the cost, because I think it's important to share this in case you guys are interested in doing the same. You can kind of get an idea of what it's going to cost. So far, concrete slab, the building, and the permit, that total came to $13,349.35. But we have spent an additional amount of money. We had to pay a plumber. We had to pay for like little materials like electrical. Whenever everybody came to help us clean up, I bought food for everybody, paid for the dump fee for the trailer that we had to dump. Now, thankfully, I didn't have to pay any labor costs, which I am super thankful for. All my family helped out and friends. But we've spent an additional about $1,000 on random things that we needed. Food, materials, dump fees, gas, all that good stuff, about an extra $1,000. So we're right around the $14,000 mark at this point. Well, will be once the building is here and installed in the concrete slab. So I just wanted to share in case y'all don't see an update for a little bit, because now we're in the waiting process again. Now that the form is here, we just gotta wait for the concrete and then the building, and then we'll be moving forward even more. But so far, about 14,000, something around there is what we have spent at this moment, which is still not bad considering what we're getting. And I did customize the building, keep that in mind. I did change the colors. I changed the metal from horizontal to vertical because I just liked the way that looked better. There were some cosmetic things that increased the price, but obviously if you go with the more basic design, it is going to be a heck of a lot cheaper. So just always keep that in mind, that the price is going to wiggle depending on what you get and where you're located to, permit prices and just everything, material cost. But that is where we are at this moment. So yay, we're moving forward. Thankfully, I'm happy to be able to sit here and share this update. I feel like it's taken forever, and I'm sorry it took forever. But yeah, it's just how it is sometimes. But I am going to get busy on editing the carport video, the one where I told you I was decluttering and downsizing. I cannot wait to share that with you guys because it turned out so good. My little workshop looks great, and that is what I got for Mother's Day, so I'm really excited to have that done. And thank you guys for watching this update. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for being here as always, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, y'all.